Hey guys, I have my Booktubeathon to be read pile for you guys today. I will not actually be participating in any of the challenges, I don't think. I think I might, I think the books that I'm going to read count for one challenge, but it's because I just wanted to go ahead and read what I was going to read this week anyway, rather than trying to rearrange my whole reading schedule around the readathon. So yes, and also one thing that I've decided to do is I'm going to I want to try to go off the grid this week as far as the internet, because I want to get as much reading done as possible, and I feel like if I'm on YouTube and watching all the booktube videos and all of that, then I'm not going to actually get any reading done. And since this is the first readathon that I'm fully planning on participating in, without, I've gotten distracted from other readathons before, I really want to actually focus on reading. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, the next Monday after the readathon, so the 21st, I'm going to catch up on everyone's videos and then make my kind of wrap-up video for everything. So yeah. And by the way, for anyone who doesn't know what the Booktubeathon is, which if you're on Booktube, you probably know what it is, but anyway, it was created by Ariel Bassett, and I think also Raylene from Padfoot and Prongs 07, and it is a readathon where booktubers come together and all read at once, and just try to do as much reading in the week as possible, and it starts tomorrow, Monday, July 14th, and goes through Sunday, July 20th. And there are a lot of reading challenges, most of which I am not participating in. And then there are, I think, video challenges. I think there are prizes. There may not be prizes. I may be wrong about that. But also the book depository, all of the hosts of the Booktubeathon this year have picked 100 books that are 10% off at the book depository. So go check that out. And yeah, so I'm gonna get started with my TBR. Okay, I'm including the book that I'm reading today because I'm hoping to finish it today, but I'm not 100% positive. That is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I do not know if I've read this book, because I had this debate with my friend yesterday when I told her that I got it, because if I read this book, I do not remember, but apparently we watched the movie in our English class, and she thinks that we read the book before we watched the movie, and I remember what the school copies of those books looked like, so I feel like I must have read it, but I remember absolutely nothing about that book. So, yes, I finally got my own copy, and I really love this cover. I think it's beautiful, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's Ralph Macchio on the front, who played the main character, Ponyboy, in the film. I think that's him, and he just has his head tilted down. I'm not totally sure. But yes, so I have started this. I am, let me see how far. I am 52 pages in, and it's 180 pages, so I should be able to finish this today, and it is beautiful and just incredibly heartbreaking. I thought just the end of this book was sad, because I already know how it ends. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but if you haven't read this book, yeah, so I thought that no, this entire book is heartbreaking. But anyway, I'm going to read you guys the back here for those of you. Well, actually, no, I'll read you the inside flap, because the back is an excerpt from the book, whereas the inside flap tells you about what the story is. Anyway, It said, "No one ever said life was easy, but Ponyboy is pretty sure he's got things figured out. He knows that he can count on his brothers, Dairy and Soda Pop, or Dari, it might be Dari, I don't know. And he knows that he can count on his friends, true friends who would do anything for him, like Johnny and Two-Bit. And when it comes to the Socks, a vicious gang of rich kids who enjoy beating up on greasers like him and his friends, he knows that he can count on them for trouble. But one night, someone takes things too far, and Ponyboy's world is turned upside down." This book is so good, and it's so heartbreaking, and yeah, and I will let you guys, I'm going to explain something when I show you guys the next one, which is, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Okay, so the thing about this book is that there is a scene, where two of the characters are reading The Outsiders. It is the most beautiful scene in the entire book, and you should read this book if only for that scene, but really you should read this book because the entire book is amazing. But yeah, so I was rereading that chapter the other night, just the one chapter, because I love this book so much that I read individual chapters of it at a time. And that's what made me finally cave and decide to get and read this, and it is so good. And so after I finish this one, which hopefully will be today, my first official book of the Booktubeathon will be rereading Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Because yeah, I want to read this book having read this one, and I was planning on watching the movie as well, before I start reading this, but I'm going out of town for a few days, so, and the movie is here, so that would not work, but I am going to watch the movie as soon as I get back in town. But yeah, so rereading this one. And then I am planning on finishing Clash of Kings. I am still only 112 pages in, but I am hoping that this readathon is going to make me kick my butt in gear and finally finish this. This is, I have about 108, not 180, 100, no, not 100. I have about 850 pages left in this, so I'm hoping to get this done in about 4 days. So I'm hoping to get this done by Friday evening if I started on Tuesday. And then Saturday, I'm not going to have as much time to read because I'm hanging out with a friend. But I am going to start Storm of Swords, and I'm going to read it all day on Sunday, so I'm hoping to maybe get 300 or so pages of this read by the end of the readathon, and then I'm gonna read like all of the week after the readathon. I'm gonna read maybe like 100 pages a day until I finish it. So yeah, I'm very excited to finally get to this one, because once I get through this one I will be mostly caught up to the show, because the show has a few parts from Feast for Crows and Dance with Dragons, but not as many. Like, they rearrange some things, but not as much. So since it's mostly based on, since seasons 3 and 4 of Game of Thrones are mostly based on this one, I should mostly be caught up when I finish this book. And then I'm going to read Feast for Crows and Dance with Dragons because I want to be totally caught up with the books by the time the 4th season comes out on instant video and DVD, and also by the time the 5th season premieres on HBO, which I don't know how I'm going to see it since I don't have HBO, but I'm going to try. But anyway, yes, this is my TBR. Oh, and when I said that 1 or 2 of my books counted for the challenges, Outsiders, I do plan on watching the movie, and there is one reading challenge that is read a book to movie adaptation. However, since I'm probably going to finish that today, I don't think that's going to count. But I am reading Clash of Kings, and since I have seen Game of Thrones, I'm going to count that, because I've seen seasons 2 and 3, because I caved and went ahead and watched season 3. But anyway, I've seen Season 2, and that's what, that's based from Clash of Kings. I don't know if I said that right, but anyway, I've already seen it. So I'm going to count that as that challenge, but I can't participate in any of the other challenges because my books don't count for any of those, so yeah. But anyway, so that's my pile, and I'm very excited about this Booktubeathon, and again, I'm going to try to stay off YouTube, which I know, is kind of not really the point of the readathon, because a lot of people are going to be interacting with each other and encouraging each other and stuff on Booktube, and people are going to be making update videos daily. But if I do that, I know I'm not going to read that much, and the main part of the readathon, or point of the readathon, is reading. So, I'm going to read, not be on YouTube, and then, catch up, once the Booktubeathon is over. And I will link Ariel and Raylene's channels down below. I don't know if Raylene is hosting this year, actually. I think she might be, but I'm not totally sure. But yeah, I will link it all down below. Or I might just link the Booktubeathon channel, because that kind of has all the information that you would need. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.